Does anybody know what the pancreas does in your body? So it produces insulin. It also produces glucagon, okay? Glucagon those are both hormones. Glucagon is the hormone that makes glucose, which is sugar. It tries to balance it out between you have too much sugar in your blood, sends insulin out to get that out and shove it into a fat cell or a cell in your body. Or, hey, there's not enough sugar in your blood. I need to produce some to regulate that so we don't die, okay? There's a big balance there. So I drew this scale, pendulum, whatever you want to call it. I'm not the best artist, okay? So when your pancreas is working correctly, and the ideal scenario is you want to try to get insulin low and keep it low, okay? Especially when we have metabolic conditions, type 2 diabetes, fatty liver disease, cancer. All these problems are caused when insulin is elevated chronically for a long period of time. So the farther you can get insulin to get down and try to keep it there, the faster those metabolic issues go away. Your cells have time to repair, okay? As insulin comes down, glucagon goes up and it says, hey, I need to dump some sugar in your blood so you don't die, you don't pass out, those types of things. Once you get into that scenario where insulin's down, glucagon's up, you're going to switch your fuel source in your body from burning off of sugar to burning off of fatty acids, okay? Remember we talked about the 3 macronutrients, which were amino acids or protein, fatty acids, and then glucose or carbohydrates, okay? So you keep your carbohydrate intake down, you're focusing on protein, that insulin level will drop. Might take a little bit of time, but it will drop. You're going to be burning off of free fatty acids. And the thing that you need to understand about this and why it's so important is when you're eating less carbohydrates and your fuel source is fatty acids, those do not get stored in your body, okay? So it just gets burned. So as you're eating the protein, that's helping repair, build muscle. The fatty acids are helping you with hormone production. Carbohydrates, that's going to elevate that blood sugar. It's going to elevate insulin. It's going to send insulin out. When insulin goes out, it's either shoving that sugar into your cell. So when you have that excess accumulation, that's when your fat cells start to get bigger and bigger and bigger. Once the fat cells get full, it will go to the liver and say, hey, we need to do something here. So your liver starts trying to put it somewhere else. That can also contribute to the like fatty liver disease. So the liver doesn't know what to do with everything else, so it just starts accumulating fat around there. Once you start running off the fatty acids, it will start pulling that accumulation of fat out of your cell and start using it for energy. And then you're peeing it out, you're breathing it out. So it's going to be a lot more productive use of the energy when you switch to a lower carbohydrate or get into a ketogenic diet, which we've been preaching to you guys for the past 3 or 4 weeks, however many weeks you've been coming now, okay? So the metabolic fix or met fix, which is this class, right? This is what we're trying to do. Takeaways that we've been stressing, I'm going to go over it again. Control carbohydrates. So try not to eat things that come in bags and boxes with barcodes. Prioritize your whole foods. Prioritize your protein intake. And then don't fear fats. I know we've said that from the beginning. So eat a diet of meat and vegetables, nuts and seeds, some fruit, little starch, and no sugar. That will get you there the fastest. That little triangle that we gave you guys, that food pyramid, I would continue to steer you towards that on things to try to eat more of. Some things that you really want to try to avoid, and we've went over this before also, but I'm going to explain why. Fructose, high fructose corn syrup, and alcohol. So that would be like your fruit juices, your pops, and then alcohol. So going back to the fuel sources, when glucose levels are high, it starts putting that stuff into your fat cells. Your liver can only store so much glucose at one time, okay? And as your food's getting processed, it's coming down, it goes into your liver. That kind of like tells every nutrient where to go, okay? Your liver can only store like 100 grams of glucose. So if you have 300 grams of glucose and that liver gets full, it doesn't have anywhere to put that stuff. Dispersing that out as it comes in. So once it's full, it's full. Everything else has to kind of wait in line to get to the liver to be used or stored as fat, okay? Those three things, or those two things really, fructose and alcohol, they don't have to get in line for the liver. So if it's already full, it doesn't have to get put into a cell to get back in there. It can just go straight to the liver, and that's what's going to cause some of these problems that you guys may be experiencing, okay? So if you can avoid those at all costs, do that. That's going to help you fix the problem a lot faster. That's going to take longer to get in the line for the liver, where those are just skipping the line. It's like the fast pass at Cedar Point, straight to the liver. So continue doing what you guys are doing and making those changes. I will say that the faster you can get to some of the things we've been preaching, whole food diet and avoiding some of those other things, the quicker it's going to be for some of those problems to go away or lessen. All right? Any questions on this? I know that was a very quick explanation, but all right.
It's an amazing thing, that's all I can say.
Yeah, and it's a big system. So like once you get one thing out of whack, other things start going wrong in other places. You start getting it in line, those other things start fixing themselves also. So just continue what you're doing, keep showing up, keep focusing on your nutrition. One thing I heard this week, I've been listening to the same guy talk about this stuff. He's a professor at a college, and he said that you show up to the gym to get strong, you focus on your nutrition to get skinny or lose weight, whatever you're trying to do. So that's the thing that you need to focus on the most, is continue focusing on that nutrition stuff. Let me see if I forgot anything. Oh. Last thing that I'll kind of ask you guys, how many of you, just a show of hands, on the survey that you guys filled out for the application, I guess the application to come into this class, how many of you said that your life depended on it? Yeah, on either this class or nutrition, diet or exercise changes. Right, so most of you answered that, at least one of those questions that way. How many of you think that you are eating that way now?
And we were halfway up. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a process.
Yeah.
I had a bad week.
That's awesome though. You guys, you're taking it.
It's not perfect, but it's like I'm conscious of it. I read labels. And
I love it. Yeah, and that's the thing, is it might not happen overnight, but you at least know we're educating you on why, how.
And
So
it's a financial thing too, because you've already bought groceries, and you're like, I'm on a budget. I don't know about anybody else. I'm on a budget, and it's like I can't just go change everything out of my kitchen, and I gotta kind of use what I got, kind of do it in moderation, and push it through a little bit until I can start changing it over more.
yeah,
So.
yep, I get that. That's awesome. Questions for me on this, and then we can go over your food
The thing
logs.
that freaks me out is the fatty acids. I see fatty acids and I think fat. You know what I'm saying? When you say nuts and seeds, I think I could sit down with a thing of cashews and eat a thing of cashews. But what good does that do in terms of me losing weight?
You have to eat those things in moderation. So those are going to be food that's high in fat and carbohydrate.
Okay.
So you want to really, that's on the list of things because it's a whole food.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't tell you to eat a bag of whatever cashews that you said. I wouldn't tell you to do that. I would tell you to eat a serving size, which is probably 4 nuts. Right?
Yeah, why bother?
You said
Yeah.
good fat. What's the good fat? You said something about good fat.
Yeah. don't fear fat.
Yeah, don't
just
fear fat.
just fat in general. There's a lot of people that will tell you like some of the low fat diets. You don't need to do that. So like whole dairy, avocados, nuts, those things aren't terrible for you. But again, you have to portion size and look at what are the other macronutrients that come with some of those things, like the peanuts. Those are going to be high fat, high carb. That's when people tend to overeat things because you get a dopamine response. That's why a lot of the processed foods have those two things in there, because you want more of it. So just keep that in mind. All right. If you have your food logs and you want me to take a look at it, I can do that.